And we are live, but I need to screen share. Okay. And we are supposed to talk about StdIO today. But sometimes it just makes more sense to give students a little surprise test in class. So I've decided we should have a test today. Coming guys, you're just in time for the test. We just wait for the stragglers. Doesn't look good, but it'll be fine. Okay. Wow, people are really late. Okay, by the way, I know that there is an issue with Friday's video. It was blocked by the BBC because I paid to the Penguin Club or ad. So I still need to fix that. I'm getting to it. But it will go up. The translations will go up. Wow, there was a big traffic jam. That's okay, you're still in time for the test. And the last two, last one. Last one. Come on, don't wait for her. She's not going to pass anyone. Okay, right. As I said, you're just in time. Don't start chatting. Don't find a seat. You're just in time for the test. Speaking of tests, I did mark all of yours this weekend, and I've given the marks to the secretary. And I understand correctly, they go in somewhere where you can see them. So they should be up. But if you can't access, I'm not exactly sure where they must go. These are early assessment tests that the university mandate you write. I would have had them in any case, but we must also write them. So I'm very serious. We are going to write the test today. Now, in class. Lucky for you, I am going to write the test, and you're going to watch me. And here is the test paper. Here is the test paper. Okay, right. Did we start? Are we on? Yes. Okay, good. Don't want to miss out on that. Okay, so here is the test paper. Give me a second. Please. Right. So it says there. What is the output? See, I know when you fill in that little form at the end of this course, it says, does the lecturer use all the technology? Okay? You just say, yes, he does. It was amazing. Oh. Okay, clear. Right. So here we go. I'm sitting there. I'm already sweating. Here, I'm sweating. Do my head. I have to pass this test. Okay, otherwise I have to go back to the farm. We've got those white animals. Okay, right. So, what is the output of the following code fashion? Write down the exact output. Okay, well that's fine. I can do this. Oh man, I can do this. I can do this. Okay, right. Let's go. Where's my pen? 1, 2, 3. Surname, RW, must be. Date. Right, this question. Right. Oh, let's see what it says. Okay. First, int a equals 2. Okay, well, I'm just going to write on the test paper. Okay, right. Int a equals 6, not 2. Almost misread that. Very important. Read carefully. Okay, and then b equals 2, and double b equals 1.5, q equals sum, r equals sum. Then it's going to print q space r. So I need to write down something in the form of something space something. I must not write output. I must not write the whole code. The question is asking, write down the exact output, nothing else. That's all I need to write. So all I need to do is figure out what's q and r. Well, let's see. A is 6, okay, that's fine. And b is 2, I can do that, that's okay. P is 1.5, it's a double. Okay, so P is a double, those are ints. That's a double. Q is A, which is 6, divided by B, which is 2. So those are two integers, I'm going to divide them. 6 divided by 2 is 3 for sure, but it's integer 3. But I'm assigning it to this double Q, so it turns into a double. I'm putting an integer in a double box, and it becomes a double. Okay, that's fine. Man, it's hot in here. Oh, is air conditioning on? No. Okay, R is equal to A, that's integer, divided by P. Oh, that's a double again. 6 divided by 1.5. Oh man. 1.3 is, actually 1.5 is half of 3, which is half of 6. So 1.5 goes 4 times into 6, so it's definitely it's a 4. But it's the int divided by double, so that's 4.0, and I'm putting inside R, R is a double, so that's okay, 4.0. And then it outputs Q space R. So output, I'm going to write down, the output is going to be 3.0 and 4.0. Okay. And then later on, Duck is going to come along and say, no, well, that's right, that's fine. 5 marks, who cares? Right. One small yes. It's just funny, it's all about how I'm feeling at that moment. So here are some of the potential answers I saw. I did see nothing. There were people who didn't want to do this. Okay, so that's fine, it's your right, but I can't mark nothing. Okay. Then I saw people writing 3 and 4. Now that's a clear signal to me. These people don't know the difference between integers and doubles, or they weren't careful enough, even though they got the right answer. And I usually stop at that point. I cry a little bit, then I come back, and which is why it takes so long to mark these papers. And I gave them 3 marks. Because they have to lose something for the fact that they got this wrong. I could have given them 4 because it's only a small thing that got wrong, but then the other people who wrote down 3.0 and 4. And they get the 4 marks. because they had one right. And then there are people who wrote things like 3.0 and 6. Oh, it's the end of the pen. Okay, fine. You lasted a long time, you did your duty. I'd rather you go to heaven. Actually, okay. Your identical twin brother is back. Okay, right. So, there were people who wrote out 3.0 and 6, and well, I got the 3 right, and it should be 2.5, but I gave them 3 marks. If I had it like, it's a bull, it's a bull. Oh, it's not someone else. Sometimes students, you know, push it over. This is the ghost of last year's class. Okay, right. So that's the way I mark these questions. Okay, answers. Anything else? Easy peasy question. Okay, I spent 15 minutes on that, or 10 minutes. So I'll probably finish this test in time. Now, next question. Complete the following code fragment so that it computes the sum, okay? The sum of the squares of the first 50 numbers. So 1 squared plus 2 squared. Oh, okay, that's not too hard, okay? So I start at 1 and I go up to 50. That's the first 50 numbers. I compute the squares and I just sum them into, well, square sums, it seems. Rewrite all the code on your answer sheet. So I've got to rewrite all of the code, not only the missing parts, but all of the code on my answer sheet. I can do that. Here we go. Okay, and it says int square sum. And I'm trying to write very neat because Jaco is probably not going to be tired after marking 200 papers, and I don't want mine. I don't want mine to be the one that he says, oh, blasted, I can't read what it says, I'll just give him 2. So I write as neatly as I can. And I do have a lovely handwriting. I've always felt that. I've always thought that. And something, semicolon, something, semicolon, something. And then a brace that was given to me. That's beautiful. And then inside here, square sum equals. Okay, right. And all I have to do is fill in the missing parts. So this for loop is going to go start at 1, go to 50, and I plus, let's say, and then I have to calculate the square of I and add it to square sum. And I have to decide first what does square sum start out as. Now, some people put 1 to tell me, to communicate the message that before you add anything to square sum, it already contains 1. Adding nothing gives you a 1, which I find a little odd, and I usually deducted 1 mark unless they address that error later. But I think the most reasonable thing is to say square sum starts out as 0. I haven't added anything, so there's nothing in square sum. It's 0. And I'm going to just have a normal little for loop that I've written a million times. Int I equals 0. Oh, no, not 0. 1. I have to start at 1. And while I is less than or equal to 50, I plus. So often in our for loops, we just put I less than something. Obviously now it has to include 50. It has to go up to and including 50. So while I is less than or equal to 50, I'm going to add it to square sum. And it needs to start with 1. But let's pretend I made a mistake and I put down 0. Would it have been so bad? No, because the square of 0 is 0. Adding that to square sum would not make a difference. So if you did put 0, I made a little red light under it, you won't ever see it because I keep the test because it's moderated by someone else and I need to look for the test. But if you want to desperately see your test, send me an email and make an appointment and I can have a look at it. But I prefer you not to do that because it'll take so much time. I could have put a 0, and if you did, I might all red lines like you didn't lose any marks. Some people, well, let's finish and then I'll say what some people did. You'll never believe it. It's amazing. Okay, so square sum, I have to add I squared to it. So square sum equals I times I. Oh, there's no one here. I was going to shout, it's a pool. Okay. It's just the wind. It's wind of it. I'm going to lock it because no one ever comes this way. They do. Okay, right. Is this right? No, it's bad because I'm putting I squared in square sum, replacing the previous value of square sum. So square sum will become 1 squared, and then it will become 2 squared, and then 3 squared, but not 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared. Add I squared to, I almost wrote in the computer, to square sum, so this should be a plus square sum. Sorry. Did someone run out when I wasn't looking? Okay, right. So I'm adding I squared. It would have made more sense to change the round and say square sum plus I squared, but I'm straight to this way because of illustrating. You can't just write I squared. I mean, you could, I guess. I just really need different color ink, but I'll just do red. You'll be fine. So what variations do I see? Some people did write I squared only, but then they put a plus sign here. So they wrote square sum plus equals I squared, which I really don't like because the question asks you to fill in the missing part on the right-hand side, and there's already an equal sign, but you're not supposed to modify. You're not supposed to modify the questions in the test, okay? But it's I can survive with that because I saw some other things that I kind of more justifiably had to dock marks for. One thing is people did not put less than or equal to, or they wrote this. Now I know what you mean, and it is almost correct. But will Java compile this? No. Is it Java? No. Some people wrote this. I superscript 2, I squared, which is perfectly correct in mathematics, but this is not Java. So will Java compile this? No. Have to subtract marks? Yes, I did. Okay. Some people decided to go ghetto and write math.pow. I too. Okay. Which is perfectly fine and correct. It said that this is a double. If you look in the book, this returns a double. And I have told you, I know, that you shouldn't use this for I squared. It's so long, you can just write I times I. Why do you have to go to math to the power, man? Take it to the next level. Yes. No, calm down. Sure, bro. Okay. This is wrong. This is wrong. Java won't add a double to square sum, which is an int. So that definitely won't be wrong. And then the last thing I'll mention is that some people, I know, I also do it sometimes, but some people wrote I times I. So close, but it's not Java. Java doesn't like this. It won't compile this. I know it's a time sign. I did mathematics. I know what it means. But I'm asking you to write a little piece of code in a little test. And I don't know. Anyways, so there is that. But I think our original answer, all in blue, is good and fine. And I would have given full marks for that. Let's get to the part where we have to fight. And I'll have to reposition my other piece of question paper. I think that'll be fine. Let's do that. It's not going to help us in any case. Okay, right. And freeze it so you can all see the. For YouTube, we don't know what the hell is going on. Is that I'm using both projectors in a very novel and interesting way to show the class the question and the answer as I write it. So, sorry YouTube, you can't see all of it, but you can see most of it. I'm not hiding anything. It's just that. No. Okay. Sorry. This is also frozen. There we go. Okay, right. Good. So, next question. I'm still working here in my book. I think I'll turn the page because I've written so much. Question is, what is the output of the following code? This one is said at the top. Write the exact output. Write the exact output. So it's this piece of code, and I'll just have to execute it because I don't know. And it may be a trick question. Who knows? Yaku is sneaky like this. Okay, it starts off by saying int x int x, I'm not going to respond to that, is equal to 68. Okay, fine. And b, I'll do it on the paper. It will just involve less writing. So x is 68. That's fine. I'm just going to write it down here. X equals 68. B equals 0. Yes. Then it says while x is more than 0. Is 68 more than 0? Yes, I'm going to go inside. If, oh man, what's this? X remainder 2. But x is even, so the remainder is 0. If the remainder by 2 is 0, oh, it is, yes. B plus equals 2. So b is incremented by 2, so b will become a 2. Don't do the else part because I've done this if. Jump to the bottom. X becomes x divided by 2. But this is integer division, so it will stay an integer. So it will become 34. Okay, cool. Done with the while loop, jump back up. Is x greater than 0? Yes. 34 is greater than 0. Is the remainder by 2 0? Yes, because that's even. Then b incremented by 2. So it's just going to increment b all the time. That's fine. Done with the if. Divide by 2 becomes 17. I've done that. Is 17 greater than 0? Yes. Is the remainder by 2 0? No, because 17 is odd, so it's going to go into the else. Oh, and it's going to decrement b. b becomes a 3. Divide by 2. Now 17 divided by 2. 2 goes in 8 times, I guess. Yes, but it's still an integer. Jump back up. Is 8 greater than 0? Yes. Even? Yes. Add 2 to b. Becomes a 5. Divide x by 2. Becomes a 4. Okay. Divided by 2. Is 4 greater than 0? Yes. Is it even? Yes. Add 2 to b. Becomes a 7. Divide x by 2 becomes a 2. Jump back up. Is 2 greater than 0? Yes. Is 2 even? Yes. So add 2 to b. That's a 9. Divide x by 2. It's a 1. Now, is x greater than 0? Yes. 1 is greater than 0. Is it even? No. So jump to the else. B minus minus. Oh, dramatic plot twist. It becomes an 8. Divide x by 2. Well, 2 goes 0 times into 1. Jump back up. Is x 0 greater than 0? No. Okay, 0 is not greater than 0. So done with the while. System.out println b. And it's printing b, which is 8. So the answer to question 3 is 8. Is everybody happy? This was the most difficult question in the test because half the class put infinity. It'll never stop. Don't laugh. I know you did it. You're laughing, whoever you are. Okay. That's because I suspect, they said, well, 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. Divide that by 2, you get 4.25. Divide that by 2, you get 2.125. Divide that by 2, you get 1.0765. All that. I kept on going like that. And going on forever, and might never stop. Other people put 12, 6, or 9. Which the 9, I guess, is the one I understand most easiestly. It's almost, we almost had 9, but then at the last iteration we subtracted 1 and we got 8. So unfortunately, this was a question where you scored 5 or 0, and that's sad, but well, it's life, you know. It's the law of the jungle, as I say. No, it's not the law of the jungle. That's not it. The law of the jungle is not score 5 or 0, but oh well. Okay, right. Next question. I'm going to finish this test in time. It's going to be amazing. I'll just put code there. Damn it! Right. And let's freeze here. Freeze in. It says what? Oh, by the way, backtrack. Before we even approach this question. Apparently didn't press freeze enough. Freeze. Right. Before we start this question, I just want to make one more remark, and that is that I'm too kind-hearted. I'm too kind-hearted for this course because I know that there are some people who put what I really dislike is output. Or 8. And yeah, I'm not blind. It's only a one-page test. I can see your answers, and I can even go dig for this. You don't need to highlight them quite so dramatically. If you have a highlighter, that's fine. But I can kind of tell what the output is, the answer is you're trying to give. If you did that, it just made me think, does Johnny think it's going to put all this stuff? Because I asked him to write down the exact output. Put all this stuff. Is this the exact output? That's ideal. What almost certainly lost you marks, well, what did, was writing B equals 8. Whatever you write it. That is not the output. I know it's true. I know that B is equal to 8 at the end of the program, but that's not what the program is going to print. It's going to print an 8, not B equals. Java doesn't add stuff when we ask you to print something on the screen. I didn't like that. I felt miffed. Oh, never mind. Okay, right. Second last question. We're almost done with the test. It says, what is the output of the following code fragment? Oh, well, then it gives us lots of stuff. A, B, C, D, E, and they're all Booleans. Well, I'll just do it down here. I'll see, make the best of it. A, B, C, D, E, and I'm just going to write true and false. So apparently A starts off as false, true, false, true, false. Okay, cool. Right, so that's the first line. I've declared all these variables and assigned them their initial values. Next, oh man, what the hell does it say? If not B or not C and D. I have to figure out this really carefully. So not B is not true, so that'll be false, or C and D. C is false, D is true. False and true gives me a false. They're not both true. That gives me a false. But there's a not in front, so it's not false. So this is F, or false or true, which is true. That's fine, so I'm going to do this inside. B equals false. So B will turn into a false. So now it's false, 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 true, false. Okay, one down. Next, If B is not equal to D, oh, that's an easy one. B is false and D is true. So yeah, B is not equal to D. If B is not equal to D, C becomes the not of A. C becomes not false. So C becomes a true. If I make a mistake, please, what the hell is this? Was this here when I came in? I can't see something. Okay, right. If I make a mistake, please stop me and ask. It's easy to slip up on these things, which is why you have so much time in exams, to do it twice, to check it 3 or 4 times. When you're writing the test, you don't have to chat to other class full of students. You shouldn't have to chat to a class full of students. You don't have to talk about all the things that could go wrong, so you should have enough time to stay calm and double check everything. I may double check myself, but let's see. What's next? It says, if A is equal to not C, so A is false and C is true, not C is false. So this is asking me if A is equal to, if false is equal to false. And that's true, surely. So then I must do E becomes true, okay? So E, true. Now I've got false, false, true, true, true. And the last one is if B or E. B, false, or E, true. So false and true will give me a true. And the not of D. So D is true, the not of D is false, the not of the not is true again. So that'll be T and T, which is true. Okay, so this will also execute, and that'll come true. Whew. So the final answer will be F, T, 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 T. But I mustn't write that because it's asking me write the exact output of this final thing, which is A space B space E space D space E. So I will write just check false and the rest are all true. So I will write false space true space true space true space true. Okay. And I think that's what will earn me my marks. I can't be sure, guys. I'm just writing this test. But later when Yaku comes along, he says, oh yeah, 5. 5. I don't even look, I don't even write the 5s. When I see everything is right, I just go full marks. Except when people come to the last question and they make a small mistake, and then I have to go back and write down all the 5s in the last 4. I feel that if there's one mistake, there's 5 marks. But if everything is correct, I don't need to write down the marks. I mean, I write them down eventually in the front, but not. What went wrong here? Well, lots of people got the wrong answer. And this is a tricky question because if you make one mistake, you can go off course. So you have to recheck this answer carefully. If you make one small if mistake and you say B becomes false instead of true, then for all the rest of the questions, it could be that you make another mistake. And many people did. Many people, I saw all combinations. True and false, true and false, true and false, true and false, for all of them. One particularly thing that I didn't like that people wrote was false, true, 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 true. Java does not capitalize the true and the false for you. It always writes lowercase. And you must have seen this before. You should know this. So if you wrote this, I kind of docked you a mark. I also docked you marks if you wrote this. I mean, I know it's mean, I know what you know, I know what you mean, I know that in your heart you really want to love computer science and do well on the test, but I mean, this isn't going to be the output. It doesn't matter how much we want it. There are systems where you can translate the whole of the programming language into Afrikaans. So you can write, instead of saying if something, you can say as iets, herhaal, with, string, heel, seker deelgetal, I don't know. Who speaks Xhosa? Is it Xhosa? No one speaks Xhosa. One person. And lies. What is if in Xhosa? Pa. Okay, so you can translate it to say pa, blah blah blah. But this is not how Java works. Java, you can't do that. This is wrong. That's wrong. Only the top is right. Okay. You know, I scored 4 marks here and damn, well, 3. I know you can answer the test papers, and now it's becoming really sensitive issue at the university. What language should be used? My proposal of using all 3 languages at once: Xhosa, English, Afrikaans, every 3rd word. In verschillende languages. Language. What is language in Xhosa? Yeah. What is it again? Okay, well, you don't speak Xhosa. In real. Okay, I can't say that. In any case, it's already mixed up because in Xhosa you don't say in a different language, you say the language in. Kind of isikholo, not isikholo. It won't work, but in any case, things are sensitive at university. Languages are important to all of us. It should matter and we should love our languages, but one of them should be Java. Okay? And you're allowed to answer the paper in English, but it asks, if you're writing English, as you're studying English as a language, or French, and the question is, what is the French word for a car? And you say, car, that's wrong. You can't answer the paper in Afrikaans like that. You have to say voiture, or whatever the French word for is. Why that? Bottom line is that this is wrong and only the top is really right. All this moralizing is making me waste my time with writing the test to such an extent that I think I may not even do the last one. If you really want, we can do it on Wednesday. But I need to show you something else. I hope I can show you. Let's see. No, what was it called? Oh yes, OpenSG. So you shouldn't measure yourself against the rest of the class, although I do, but you shouldn't. No, you should. You should say that, ooh, I'm a little behind. I didn't do really fantastically well. So I'm going to just pay a smidgen more attention to this course. Here on this slide are the 5 questions and the distribution for the class. So, and I'll put this on the web somewhere, but most people got the first question right. And when I say most, I mean technically most. More than half the class scored a 5 or scored a 5. But the mean was a little lower. Okay? Question 2, which was the one where you had to fill in the code, adding the first 50 squares. More than half scored 4 or 5. Well, the 4 is actually divided. The middle of the class falls somewhere in the 4 line. But there were people who didn't get it right. So the distribution, I mean, this is in some sense more useful. This is a very rough division of the class into they know or they don't know. But it doesn't allow me to distinguish between the people who know. Do they really know really well, or whether they're just lucky, or this whole group I can see is one mass, but I need questions to separate the class into different groups. You understand what I'm saying? One goal of a question is to separate the class so that I can see these people are doing really well and I can forget about them. These people are doing okay and I need a little encouragement, and then fine. These people are struggling a little, I need to pay them more attention. These people need serious help. So that's what I want the test to do for me. This is that kind of question that kind of tells me who in class is doing really well and who is doing really is struggling a little. This is another division. As you can see, only 2 marks, 0 and 5. This divided the class a little bit, but it was probably too easy. Which was this? The question about Booleans. Maybe not. And the last question, so these 2 programming questions really helps me a lot to define who needs help in class. As far as the total scores go, this is the median, the mean, we're pretty close together, but we're about 18. So 18 was the average, and then there's some kind of distribution. Lots of people got full marks. Almost no one got 0, but people did score. Lots of people scored lowly. I wonder if this number is right. No, it cannot be right, can it? Because it's adding up to 300. We don't have so many people. So it's probably that very first one that's wrong. Nobody did so, not me, everyone did so poorly. Just please ignore that very first number, I'll fix it. But now, in response to this test, we have to have a little bit of an intervention. So I really want to talk to everybody who did below a certain mark, and the way we'll do that is in the study groups. So if you went to study group last week, please don't come in unless your name is on this list that I'm going to show. Everyone on the list, it's not everyone who did poorly. There were some people who did fine, but I really want to see you at one of the study groups this week. So either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday at 1 or 6. You understand? 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 6. And please come and tell me which time you would like to come now. And if you went to study group last week, just skip this week, okay? If you really need help, if you feel something desperate is going wrong and you need help for the practical test, ask the demis, ask Sean or Javad, and they will arrange a separate tutor session for you. But at least for the study groups, these people must show up in the study groups. Okay? If you don't come, I'm going to seek you out. I know your home addresses. I know where your parents live. I know where your grandparents live. I will phone your whole family to track you down and hunt you like a hare. Computer science study group avoiding animals. So if your name is on here, please come and tell me what time you're coming. Otherwise, we're going to stop now, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Oh no! Whoa, whoa! Oh! I also said I'm going to do it this morning after I started doing it last night, and also to do it online. But I don't know where they're going. Do you know where they're going? I think it should be mine sun with A7ZA, but I don't know what that is. So I hope it's there. If it's not, I'll put it on our website. Okay? Right. It's a normal price.
Nee. Okay, cool. Jetzt von der Größe. Die Gärtenform, euer kleiner Haus und die das Gärtenform von kleiner Haus. Yeah,
That's big fine. Okay. Right. Name and study groups you can come. So just right. 10:30. 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock on Tuesday, Wednesday 13, Wednesday 6 o'clock, and Thursday.
Dom, which one you going? How many?
Doesn't matter. Dom can go this time. You don't need to give it Dom's mum.
His mum.
Which,
You're
how
not
many
allowed
should
to
we
go
go
to the
to?
same Sunday.
One.
And right down is next one. The ones you can make.
Can you put the marks on the marks section on our website?
I'll try, but that's still
Make it
under
easier for everyone.
development. No, the issue is I don't want it open to the outside world, so I have to give you all passwords. So I have to activate the user system, which is not active, which means I have to mail out passwords, people have to confirm their passwords, all that stuff.
Okay.
So I thought, that's what I thought.
Someone het woensdag by email reply dat jy
Ja, asseblief. Anders gaan ek gou gee.
woensdag
Anders gaan ek gou gee. Asseblief.
study.
And if you time you leave. Well, jy vra vra, ja. Nee, nog geen omstandighede.
Ek het virtualbox op my laptop aangedownload. En alles werk, maar sodra
Fantasties.
as ek inlog, gaan ek tot op die homescreen en skop hy dadelik uit en moet ek weer inlog. En dit gaan net heeltyd so aan, so ek weet nie wat.
Dis 'n fout. Praat met die demo. Dis 'n fout. Asseblief. Maar
Sal
dit,
ek sonder donderdag.
asseblief. Maar dit is beslis nie hoe dit is.
Ja, nee.
Okay. Right.
If you already signed up for one, that's fine.
No, it's not fine. Please sign now because I don't.
Same one.
If you want, put down your name and all the study groups you can attend, and I'll pick one for you. If you only put down one, well, there's nothing we can do. But if you put down a couple, that will help in scheduling, keep everyone on the phone. So even if you're on the list already, please just put your name down again.
So we put all of the ones that we could make.
Yeah, or one to make, but put down 2 or 3. It will really help. So half of you, please come sign this side, because otherwise it's going to take forever. And I will even make a third side. Thank you, sorry. Yes.
Where are the study groups happening?
Narga H, Narga H, Narga H.
Okay.
It's easy in Afrikaans because it's Narga ha ha ha. Eight memoir. You remember where it is. I think I did really well in the test.